Hello, Flosstube. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you my Stitchy spot, and then I'm going to switch out this project to my Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Stitch Along because the first clue came out today and I really want to keep up on it. So that is what I'm going to do. So this is my Stitchy spot. This is my new tabletop that my husband painted for me. It's wood and then he painted it all glossy, and my Stitchy buddy is Captain America. He hangs out with me. I have a coaster which has nothing to do with cross stitch other than I get thirsty. This is my Samsung tablet that I look at digital patterns on, and then I have remote controls in here so I can watch Flosstube channels. That's the reflection of my Hollywood light is what I call it, but it's like a movie light. That's what that looks like. That's my Ort jar. It's a bucket, and my measuring tape and my needle threader and my tweezers and my scissors are all in this area. This is my mechanical stitch counter because I like to count my stitches, and I actually had a stitch counter that was digital and the batteries died on it, and I kept trying to find new batteries and I couldn't, and so I decided, or my husband was like, why don't you just get a mechanical stitch counter? And so I did, and it's really cool. I like the sound it makes when I click it. This little thing is for like going like this to your threads whenever you're stitching, and like when I tie off the ends of my threads on the back, I use that to pull it out, because I stitch through and I pull it to the front, and then so I use that thing on the back to like pull it out so I can cut it off. And then this is my aught light that I use to stitch with. It folds down. Really dusty right now. It's just a fluorescent daylight bulb, and I have some threads down here that I cleaned because they were smelling like smoke. I have another video about that. Yeah, my Stitchy spot's a little disorganized right now. I have some floss that I'm trying to reorganize, so that's that. And then that's my giant DMC case of bobbins. And then this blue one is actually, I got new bobbins. They're clear, but they don't actually fit the same direction in my DMC case, so I have to like reorient them as I bobbinate the new floss. So there's that. This is one of my finished projects. And yeah. So, and then this is where my green screen is for, and then that's like a dinner cruise thing that I went on with some family members. Yeah, so that's my Stitchy spot, and then I'll be back with how I change my project out, and then I'll change it to the Frosted Pumpkin one. This is a heaven and earth design that I started in the middle. Hello again, Flosstube. I'm gonna take this project off of the QSnap, and then I'm gonna switch it to my Frosted Pumpkin Stitch Along fabric. And sometimes I use my aught light to hold my needle minders when I'm changing the fabric. And I use this silicone pot holder to loosen my QSnap. And I roll all the sides first. Make my fabric loose, and then I hold it like this, and then I just slide it off. And the silicone pot holder makes it really easy to just pull it. And I have this t-shirt here because this is a new table and I really like it, and it does have like a clear coat on it, but I wanted my QSnap when I'm stitching not to like nick the table. So I've clipped this piece. It's an old t-shirt. It was from my retail job that I used to work at that I don't anymore. And I'm just using these like big binder clips to hold the t-shirt on the table. And this project that I'm taking off is my Heaven and Earth Designs A Stitch in Time by Amy Stewart. And it's one of those big bookshelf designs where it's like there's all kinds of different sections and there's different little people in each section cross-stitching, and it's a really cool design. Okay, and then you'll notice I have pins. That's how I roll up my fabric when I have it on the QSnap, so that it doesn't unroll and have like a whole bunch of stuff everywhere. I think they're like quilting pins, but I got them because they have hearts on them. And I thought that was cute, so I have those. And this fabric is Jack-o'-lantern by Fibralicious. I really need a second QSnap because I don't like using anything else other than a QSnap. So when I want to work on a different project, I always have to take the QSnap apart or take the project off of it. I don't know why this isn't folding the way I want. Okay. But I thought about getting an 8x8 because I have a 11x17 inch QSnap, and if I had an 8-inch one, I could like make a 11x8 or a 17x8. Does anyone do that? 17x8? This is my Castle Homecoming Club fabric. It's Eucalyptus Showers by Fibralicious, and it's 32 count Lugana. And I'm gonna put it on the QSnap now. Although first I'm gonna mark the center of the fabric, which I do with pins. So this is this part of the middle, and the design is horizontal, so that is gonna affect which direction I put it on the QSnap, because the fabric is technically smaller than the QSnap that I have. As far as like, it's 13 by 18 inches, so I don't use all 4 of these bars when I put a smaller piece of fabric on. So I pinned the middle there, and then fold it in half the other way. You'd think this fabric has holes. You'd think it'd be easy to poke through, especially with a sharp pin, but I guess not. Okay, so there's the middle. And yeah, I think that, yeah, that's the middle. It looks like it's too high, but maybe it is a little. Sometimes this takes a little bit of finagling, but eventually I get it. Yeah, that's better. Okay, that's the middle. So then for a project like this, I think I'm gonna orient it this way. So like putting it on the QSnap. Sometimes I put it on the QSnap this way, depending on where I am in the pattern. And the hardest part is always trying to figure out which way I want to orient it right now. But I guess because it's in the middle and I haven't started yet, I could just do it this way maybe. I'm asking myself that question. Don't worry, you don't have to answer me. All right, I'll do it this way, and then if I don't like it, I'll change it later, but. So I just used the long ones, and then I put these ones away. And then I have to pick which side of the fabric I want it to be facing, like the top, because the fabric's kind of mottled, so I feel like maybe this should be the bottom because there's grass. Although, I don't know. This should not be the bottom, this should be the side because I'm stitching this way. Something else to remember too when you're doing your patterns is make sure you put it on correctly and then stitch in the right direction, or you're gonna have to frog out a lot of stuff. So I use this silicone thing again to tighten my QSnap when the fabric is on there. I just roll it till I'm happy with it, and then it slips over and hits me in the face. How many of you have like been stitching with your QSnap and just like have it hit you in the face when you're like maneuvering with it? Because that happens to me a lot. And yeah. Feel free to laugh. It's kind of entertaining. I laugh at myself too. Okay, so there's that. Wait, I decided that this way is going to be up. So, and the reason I am telling you that is because I always take some extra floss, like just random floss that's not really being used for anything else. And I will stitch an up arrow into my fabric so that I know which way is up, because especially when you're starting a pattern and you've just put like 1 or 2 stitches in, and you really should know where up is so that you're not stitching your pattern in the wrong direction. I don't know why I'm doing that. Oh, because I was stitching my Haid 1/1, so I was getting used to just threading 1 piece of floss, but I'm going to double this one up and do a loop start when I stitch my arrow. And this is just temporary, so it's like if you decide to do this, you don't need to make it like really tight or whatever. So let me just go like this. So I loop start it and then come back through to the front, and then I don't know why I did that way. Sometimes, whatever. I should have stitched it like coming up over here. That way I could just stitch the arrow part, but then I had to make an extra stitch because I did it weird. Okay, so then that's my up arrow, and I just do that. Ta-da! Actually, I should pull this thread to the front so it doesn't get in my way when I'm... Or maybe, you know, I'll just cut it. Yeah. Just cut the extra off. Throw it in my little Ort jar. There we go. Okay, well, now, okay, this is how I start my projects. And this is the other extra piece that I have. So I just have it on these little cardboard card things because I don't care. Okay, so that's how I start a project.